Hi, everyone. I'm live in 1 minute. This is going to be super brief. So I am so excited to be here and going live. And I am doing something super, super exciting today. I am live on Instagram, um, LinkedIn, as well as YouTube. So for anyone who is joining, I want to hear from you. No matter what platform you joined from, let me know. Let me know how the experience was for you on one of these platforms. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. Hopefully, a few of you can join me. And today's Adventure Day for sure. um, because I am I am experimenting with being live on so many platforms all at once today. And um, if anyone is live and can hear me or cannot hear me, please, please, please let me know because you know, I need to I need to figure out how I am going to do this. So you guys are like my assistant production directors and whatnot. I'm just going to give it a few minutes, but I will be respectful of everyone's time and start right away. The topic that I am talking about today is so, so, so important to me. It's the first time that I kind of take the topic publicly. Most of the students I work with, this is something that we kind of work on together individually. But then it was recommended that I do this live and share some pointers with all of you about how you may want to develop a personalized plan to get through this incredibly taxing, emotionally taxing process. And so that is what I am hoping I can do today. If you're joining me live and can hear me, hi, Elaf. Thank you so much for joining. Okay. So I'm getting a clue already that I'm up on LinkedIn because Elaf is able to give me a thumbs up in the comments. So that is encouraging to know. And now my microphone is acting up. So I'm just having all types of issues this morning. But that's okay. Resilience. You're watching my resilience kind of unfold in real time because this is going to happen whether this microphone participates or not. And I'm adjusting. I'm adjusting and prevailing and adapting, and we're good. So, thank you so much for joining if you're live. And this is going to be quick. And it's going to be quick for a reason because I tend to love connecting with you guys one on one more than some of these like really big platforms and engaging where I'd have like a super large audience. My favorite is when I get to speak to you one on one and get to know you and get to know your story. And we can talk about what are some strategies and things that you can do based on your life journey to kind of be successful with this incredibly, again, emotionally, physically taxing process that you and your entire family embarks on simultaneously. If you don't know me, my name is Sally. I am the founder of Resi Prep 360. but I am also a wife, a mom. I have a dog. I'm an aunt. I am a pharmacist. But these are all some of the things that make up who I am and how I show up in the world. So if it's your first time here, welcome and thank you for being here. In addition to that, I show up in the world and contribute my voice to a lot of different things. Resi Prep kind of pretty much is the first thing that I was able to create successfully independently. And it's just a service where I work with student pharmacists or new practitioner pharmacists to help prepare them for a successful residency application and match process. It's been incredibly successful in about the last 7 years. This is my 8th year doing this, which is wild, but it is one of the most rewarding experiences that I've embarked on. It's given me an opportunity to engage and get to know student pharmacists quite literally from around the world. So I'm very, very privileged and love my position in contributing my voice in this way. I contribute my voice in another way through a podcast with a wonderful and super co host, Thu. And she is online as the Empower Farm D. And we have a podcast called Hey Friends, We Got This. And this is Thu and I talking about our journey, our non-linear careers and journeys in the profession of pharmacy, and sharing through authenticity, through storytelling, to hopefully help you navigate the journey with a little bit more confidence, hearing from two women of color. So we are having such a blast creating and building and experimenting with this thing, and we have really, really enjoyed the support that we've received in the last few months of that podcast launching. Another way I contribute my voice is through a podcast, through a partnership with the Pharmacy Podcast Network, where it's the name of the podcast is the Road to Match series. I talk about practical things on these different episodes, and I just had an opportunity to interview a phenomenal guest speaker for the next episode that I'm super excited about having come out. If it's your first time hearing about the podcast, please go and check out both podcasts, rate and review. We would absolutely love your support. On to why we are here today. Today, everyone, if it's your first time joining me, my lives aren't extensive. They're not long. Again, this is just like to get you started, get you thinking. And if you want to connect with me to discuss these in more targeted way, absolutely message me. I'd love to connect with you. Resilience, by definition, it's just your capacity to withstand or to recover quickly from difficulty. If you have had a very traditional journey as a pharmacy student so far, you may not have had to call on resilience. But in my experience, if you've been in the profession of pharmacy in any way, shape, or form, resilience has been like your quiet little travel partner. And it's important that in this season of residency interviews, where people are getting offers, people are getting rejections, people are being ghosted by programs where they're not even hearing from programs at all, I want you to really hold on to the thing that got you to this stage. Think about it. Critically evaluate your journey and think about, how did I get here? I didn't get to this point by not believing in myself. I didn't get to this point by believing all of what the naysayers had for me. I didn't get to this point by not working hard and not reaching out to people. I got to this point by doing X, Y, and Z. Really, really call on those things again, because if there was ever a time for those companions to show up and stand with you in a journey, this is that season. As we get into February, you're going to be balancing a lot. You're going to be balancing rotation responsibilities as well as interview responsibilities. And some programs, they want a lot. I mean, they want um they want presentation, more than one presentation. They'll have a clinical challenge for you. They may have an ethical dilemma for you that they want you to work up and present to them. So mentally, if you are doing all these and then you have a whole nother life that you are also showing up in, you're going to find yourself struggling to keep going. But I love the word withstand, because resilience is not about when you come across or you face adversity, your visceral response shouldn't be to turn away from it. Listen, I want you to figure out how to go around it, how to jump over it, how to go through the wall if you have to. But what is really, really important here is your ability to face the adversity head on. That is your resilience. And I think it's a superpower that many of you grossly underestimate. When I think about residency, residency application, surviving residency, um, post residency, resilience is an incredibly important component of this entire process. It's why I wanted my little window between your interview invites and actual interviews to be about resilience. It's such an important, and I think something that isn't discussed, and candidates aren't encouraged enough to spend time bonding with it and identifying the things that activate their resilience factor. But if you have had the courage to apply for residency, you already must know that you are resilient as an individual. You have what it takes. If you didn't, the interviews wouldn't be coming. If you didn't, you wouldn't have had the resolve to push through it. And what I want you to really, really do is hold on to it. I want to go through, just based on my personal experiences, some things that I think have been really, really helpful for me when I have come up on adversity. I have been incredibly vocal in telling all of you about my personal challenges with my health and how that has translated into challenges professionally for me, and my family's challenges, and having a parent who is unwell when I am pushing for a promotion at work and starting new initiatives. And when I tell you that, and people are always like, how do you do it? It's the resilience in me and the fact that I have identified it as a strength in myself. Like, I know that I may not always be the smartest individual in the room. However, I am positive about the fact that no one in that room is going to outwork me when it comes down to it, number one. And number two, I am not a quitter. I don't make commitments and back off. I don't say yes and then have a story of why I didn't do it. There is always a reason if I'm going to step away. And so I know these things to be true about myself, and it's so woven into my fabric that it doesn't matter what the adversity is. I stand firm in my belief that this is not going to be the thing that's going to take me down. And I wish nothing more than for all of you to also have that same resolve. Taking inventory, right? Like really, really sitting down and doing an objective evaluation. And the students and the candidates I work with, they always make fun of me because I'm always just like, we need to do a reflection. We need to reflect on this. We need to reflect. I'm a huge fan of reflection because I have found it to be so transformative for me. Even if I'm facing challenges at work, I reflect on the experiences objectively. If I have to take responsibility for my contribution in whatever the adversity is, I do, but it doesn't change my commitment and my resolve to overcome the adversity, even if this is something that I quote unquote brought upon myself, right? So mistakes are a part of it, but I am very, very, very comfortable with the fact that if this is now my reality, I have decisions to make and I need to make those decisions for what is best for me. Self awareness is so important. Identifying your support system is so important. Like, my sister is a major cornerstone. Like, she is a part of what I call my executive board. I have a person that I can call upon for my business advice, a person I can call it if I just want humor, someone that can really critically look at my professional performance and give me feedback on how I can improve that. And my husband, as another pharmacist, the conversations that I can have with him, I find have been so beneficial because he's in the life, so to speak. So he can give me advice in a way that I don't know if a non-pharmacy person would have been able to. And so I have non-pharmacy people and I have pharmacy people who all play a very important role in how I think through my adversities and my challenges and make decisions. You want to start building this group of people. You want to start collecting and identifying who are some of these people that either because of their experiences professionally or life experience, or because you see them in a position that you aspire to and you would like for them to share with you whatever they've learned about their journey so that you are moving a little bit better and avoiding some of the pitfalls that they share with you they encounter. This is so important because these people are going to pour into you. They could just be individuals that would give you something to hold on to. They may text you a quote that just lifts you up that day and you have an extra bounce in your step. But reflection and taking inventory, to me, it's non-negotiable. Um, you're going to be left different after you face adversity, after you face a challenge. You're going to be left different. My hope is that through the residency application process, that when you re-emerge at the end of everything and all of the uncertainties you have right now, you are truly a better version of yourself. But in order for you to see the opportunities in how you're going to grow through adversity, you have to be open to change. Like, it sounds so cliche because it's kind of like, well, how do I open myself up to change? Focus on purpose, number one. And number two, if you're a person of faith, I am. I always just pray for God to show me what I am meant to learn from this experience so that I am not overly emotionally so traumatized by the adversity that the lesson misses me, right? So I want to be able to take that step back from whatever the adversity is and really open my mind to say that there's something here I don't know. There's something here I'm not seeing. Um, what is the lesson in this thing that I am facing right now? And then I start praying that I have the courage to hear it, to see it, and accept the lesson for exactly what it is, and I don't put my own spin on it, right? Because we're all the heroes of our own story. Like, I don't know who goes around telling a story about themselves and they're just painting themselves as the villain, right? Especially if something has happened to us, like somebody has exercised their power over us and somebody has made the decision to say that we aren't good enough for something. We're going to paint ourselves as the heroes of that situation because our approach is, I did everything I was asked to do. I came early, stayed late. I gave everything. I didn't know what they wanted me to do extra. That's okay. The lesson is there. And so focus on what you're meant to learn from the experience. Because if you're faced with that situation again, I bet you'll remember the lesson and you'll have a different approach to it. So don't be surprised that you're going to be different. And that my hope and prayer is that the version that re-emerges at the end on the other side of the adversity is a smarter, a sharper, a wiser, and definitely somebody who has good baggage from the adversity, and you don't bond with the negative baggage of the adversity. So, super important. Lean into your strengths. I always find it super amazing that, like, when something happens at first and you're hit with that big wave of uncertainty or rejection or whatever, like our mind almost goes blank. Like we almost forget who we are because of the shock of it or because of the disappointment. Oh my gosh, the disappointment of why the rejections are coming when you had the perfect GPA, the perfect organizational involvement, the perfect letters of recommendations, the perfect work experiences. You told a story, still you were rejected. How did that happen? You forget who you are for a second. So I call this like the pity party phase, where you throw yourself a huge little party and you're like the guest of honor at your own pity party. But I always caution you guys against a well organized pity party, because what could happen to you is the party is so nice, it's so good, it feels so amazing throwing the pity party, that you never graduate from it, right? You never leave your own pity party and you're stuck. So lean into your strengths. Like, what are your strengths? Your strength, for me, my strength is, once it is clear to me that there's a challenge in front of me, right? It usually takes me a little bit of time to figure out, like, why am I twisting in the wind in this situation? Like, why isn't it clear? Why is the picture so fuzzy? I don't understand. Where's the circle of resistance here? And like, what am I pushing against? The moment it's clear to me what the adversity is, I know what my strengths are. I'm a problem solver. I'm solution driven. And if that problem means that it's time for me to move on, I do comfortably. It's no love lost. But if it's an environment that has suddenly just become unhealthy for me, I don't see myself progressing in this environment, or I'm being asked to make a sacrifice that is too great of a sacrifice unnecessarily, I'm going to move on and take what I've learned from that experience and move on. So for you, what is your strength? Like, what is your strength? Is your strength a network that is diverse and robust? It's time to activate your network, because this is what you built your network for. So that if you're uncertain or you've had an unsuccessful phase one, that they would also galvanize and organize it around you and support you through this moment of uncertainty and help you get somewhere that you will actually be happy with, right? What is your strength? Is your strength action? Like, okay, phase two is going to open in a few hours. I have this going. I have this going. I'm going to get this person to look at my letter. I'm going to get this person. Lean into your strengths during this time. Don't stay at the pity party too long. Really figure out what your strengths are and go for it. Lean into it and really, really leverage it. So, again, the only way you're going to know what these strengths are is if you've spent the time to self reflect and know what they are, so you can conjure them up very quickly and very easily. We are back to that reflection phase again. And I know, like, some of the people I've worked with in the past, they're probably laughing as they hear me say reflection, 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 because I just think that when you know who you are, you become so much more difficult to defeat, because you know who you are, right? It's when you're still uncertain that external, um, I heard it just recently be called fearful projections. When you're not confident about who you are and you're not clear about who you are, these external projections that people put on you of their fears, those things actually can take a hold. But when you're clear about who you are and what you bring to the table and what you have to contribute, whether or not people are co-signing that or not is completely inconsequential to how you are going to move and the things that you are going to do. Reflection, reflection, reflection. You have to know thyself. It all starts with that. So I just want to encourage you again to spend that time to know who you are, so that you are stepping up truly and fully within your power. It's time to act. Like, when you're facing diversity, it doesn't just take care of itself. Like, it won't solve, it won't just resolve on its own. You have to act. And I'm telling you, from the moment I heard this quote, I've been obsessed with it, right? It's action is the antidote to fear. So adversity is, it's almost synonymous with fear. Like, there's a lot of fear and uncertainty attached to adversity. But if you're acting, if you're doing mock interviews, you start to become empowered because you've been practicing your responses. And each time you're more confident than the last. You've put together your patient case presentations, you've vetted it, you've prepared it, you've recorded yourself presenting, you've sent it out to people you trust for those people to listen to it and look at it and look it over and give you feedback. You start to become empowered. Like you start to become really empowered to start effectuating your plans effectively. Like fear just doesn't even have space anymore in your psyche because you are putting all of that nervous energy into action. Don't sit back hoping for things to just work themselves out. Really and truly, you have to make a move in order for you to start feeling like, yes, I'm in the driver's seat and I really think that I have what it takes to take this adversity head on. Now, the component about taking care of yourself, it goes without saying, but no, we have to say it. And I'm always so surprised that when I speak to candidates and I ask, how is your mental? Many of you are brought to tears by that question. And I don't think it's because of me. I think it's because it's the first time that you are pausing to critically evaluate how you're doing mentally, right? This thing is hard. This thing is tough. Landing a residency is hard work. Keeping a residency is a whole another set of hard work that's coming, right? Finding healthy ways to cope and healthy ways to disconnect from the journey and engage in your life to remind yourself of who you are and the things you value, the things that really bring you pure and unadulterated joy could be very, very powerful in keeping you mentally healthy through this process. Go outside. I know on the East Coast it's winter, it's cold or whatever, but take walks. I don't know, like change of environment. Don't do all the work in the library. Perhaps pick another place that you can be productive in just for a change of scenery. But I want to really express the importance of you staying tuned in to the toll that this process is going to take on your mental health. And if you need someone to speak to, or you just need someone who's going to sit there and listen, that is not going to judge, I want you to know that I am available for that. I am open to that. I would love to be that person for you because when I was going through it, I had none of that. I had I had no one that has been through the process that I could call on or reach out to that would actually help me sort out my feelings and even just help me listen or help me take all of the nervous energy and all of the anxiety and help me transform that into some really positive and productive thing, right? I lack that. And so it's definitely something I am intentional about making sure that you all know that if you wanted that, I'm more than happy to provide that to you. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. None of this at the end of the day will be worth it at even 1% if the person that you re-emerge as, you have some really unhealthy baggage that you're carrying as a result of not taking care of yourself through the process. So I want to encourage you to really, really take some time for yourself and take care of yourself. I told you guys that I don't come on here and sit and chat for like a whole hour or anything like that. This is just to keep myself available and let you guys know that I am here, I am present, and I am open and willing to help you guys. I'm available on all of these different platforms. The YouTube channel, there are a lot of free resources that are available that help with interview prep, even phase two prep that I post on that channel that I hope you all are taking advantage of. I'm learning to start having a little bit of fun on TikTok and not make it all business all the time. We'll keep LinkedIn for that. And on Instagram, I'm there. I'm sharing a lot of different things across all of these things, all of these platforms that I hope is making me more accessible because that is this consistent feedback that I'm getting where people are just like, they wish I was more accessible, right? Questions for me, comments for me, concerns, or you just want to share your story with me, do not hesitate to reach out across all these platforms at ResiPrep360. You'll find me, and the LinkedIn is my personal account that you can find me under as Sally Traore Ualaka. As always, I am very grateful that you are watching this either live or on playback. If you know people that can benefit from seeing this video, I would love that you share it. But besides that, have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. And I hope that I was successful um, and being live on multiple of these platforms today, and it worked beautifully. So I am looking forward to the feedback that I'll get. My circle of friends, they're going to keep it real and let me know if this was just a debacle or if I pulled it off. Thank you so much, everybody. And we got this. We got this. The match is almost here, and you can do this. And we got this as always. Bye. Have a great weekend, everybody.